Okay, can you see my screen now?
Yeah, man.
Okay, so why I'm doing today from MacBook Pro, because somebody asked me that how to do the same things from Mac. So because previously I thought many of us are using Windows, but there are also people like who use Mac. So how to access, how to set up the CLI, AWS CLI from the Mac. That's today. I'm going to. It's quick, very quickly. I'm going to show it. So that's like today's agenda. We actually finished it last time. Today's agenda is like creating users account, because we don't want to use our root account always. That's a risky thing. You do anything, you are allowed, right? So how to create a user account into the into the root account, and that is called IAM account actually. And how to log in. And also, Raja, you asked like how to create MFA. Did you able to do that?
Yes, actually, I had an authenticator which was already there in the mobile Panchaleshwar. I was able to figure it out.
Okay, so if then that is what I thought to discuss again, how to, and also once we create IAM users, how to set up the MFA for that. MFA is multi-factor authentication, and also we'll after we finish these basic things, because every time I believe I am planning to do some of the things what you users are facing like problem, we'll analyze them and we'll see if anybody else is facing, then we'll solve those first maybe 10 minutes every day, 10 minutes or 15 minutes, and after that we'll start the new. Is that fine, everybody? Like,
yep.
Yeah, so that you all also know that what others are facing the problem when we are all new. So that will also give everybody some kind of knowledge that what normally problem you may face also, because you may follow it today, but some configuration changes you may face it later. So I thought we'll discuss that. Okay. Second thing we'll discuss is today we'll start from where we left last time. Ebs volumes, right? Okay. Ebs storage, and we'll discuss today how to take the snapshots and how to restore. I will talk much about snapshots of the instances and volumes, and I believe it should be all today because I have purposely set it for 1 hour. So I have some work. So we will finish early today.
Yeah.
In 1 hour. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's go ahead and start with Mac installation of the CLI. Okay. So here, let me particularly ask, did you do that, by the way? Yeah. So Sabhagya, Lakshmi.
Yes, I did it.
Okay.
I completed it. So
okay.
I'm good with that.
Okay. So you can access with AWS configure and AWS commands, everything you are able to access, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay, good.
Panchaleshwar, this is Manas. I have a question. While trying S3 commands and all, is there any way we can see the content of the file in CLI itself?
Okay, first you can download it, by the way, right? You can download and you can do whatever you want.
Download and that but we can do. But
okay, I'm not sure. Maybe I'll come back with that.
All right.
I never tried that, but that is the practical use case. I don't see if there is any practical use case because normally we don't have always text files. Text files, maybe we can, whether I can execute a cat command or a VA command. But normally people don't upload a text file, right? So that's for the sake of maybe a sample we did. But okay, I'll come back with that.
All right, thanks.
Otherwise, because in how we'll do that with if you are using a CLI and you are maybe uploading a data file, maybe if you want to see it, maybe you will see the raw data or you know,
Yeah.
on not human readable kind of format. You may see that. But still, I'll come back with that answer. I'll note it down.
But is it not a usual case, like how many files we have uploaded into S3, and then if we want to browse
So you
through?
want what are the files, right? Or
No,
what
no.
are the
What are the
files?
files is okay, but if we need to browse through, what is the content on those files? How generally people they do?
Can you please give me an example? What is the use case for that? If I want to really know, like,
Yeah,
what
say
is the
for
use case?
example, I loaded say 10 files into the S3, right? And I'm
Okay.
trying to process those files. But before, yeah,
Processing is
processing.
different.
Yeah, just a example that I'll be reading those files and do some processing and get some output. So before that, I just wanted to know whether how many records are there, or what is the structure of that, or something like that. If
So
I
those
need
are
to.
all metadata, right?
Uh-huh.
Metadata, I believe you can see. But the contents, whether it is human readable format,
Yeah.
that is I doubt, because it will just may end up showing what is the raw format data, which may not be, human understandable format.
It depends on the encoding.
Exactly, depends upon the file content also.
Okay.
So, okay, but I'll come back with a structured answer to that.
All right. Thanks.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, so I just I did that on my Mac. So this is there are two ways you can do. You can install a graphical user interface way, or you can do the CLI also. So this is the package. You can download it, right? And if you execute the package and simple continue, and continue, that agree, and this is already installed, but you can continue and install it. Okay, this is one other way, and you can do another CLI also. CLI way you can install it, and just to configure again, same thing. AWS. Oh, why? Okay, so you see here, CLI is 1.15, and it uses Python and all these things. Okay, so, and you can configure again, same thing, AWS configure, so on and so forth. Okay, I don't want to do it again. I have already done it. Okay. And same thing also you can do with Linux. So suppose you have a Linux machine or a VM, you want to access it. Mostly when you work practically, you will be required to work from a Linux system. This is what I have seen in industry. Whenever you work, mostly people work from a Linux environment. Even if you have a Windows system, but still you log in, like you use the command prompt. So I encourage you to be familiar with the CLI mostly. Okay, so that's one thing. Next thing is let's create the MFA part. I'll log into my account. At the timing, I'll stop sharing. Okay, I logged in to my account. Now, see, I am the root user here. I have the email ID, and directly through the root user, I have logged in. So now, first of all, I encourage you to use MFA for all your accounts, irrespective of wherever it is actually. Whether it's your Gmail account, Outlook account, any email, Facebook account, or anything. Nowadays, simple password is not safe. So I encourage to have multi-factor authentication, at least 2-factor. There are 3-factor nowadays, but at least 2-factor authentication you should enable. And how to do that? I'll just repeat again for the sake of you to understand. IAM, go to our simple here, services, and go to security, identity, and compliance, IAM, okay? So you see here, once you go to your root account and here activate MFA, it's just manage MFA, and you can do that from here. If it is not there, okay, you can create it. And how to do that is, let me do that again. Let me remove it. I removed my multi-factor authentication. So let me remove from my authenticator also the same account, so that I'll be syncing with it again. Okay. Now I'm like just signed in. I don't have anything on my account. And here I'll go back again. I just logged in and go to services, and here security, identity, and compliance. Go to IAM, and here activate MFA. Click it, manage MFA, and multi-factor authentication. Click here, activate MFA. Once you do that, you have 3 options: virtual MFA or other hardware. There are hardware devices also. It's some company they actually give, which is maybe not many of you not are giving. Many companies they are not giving. So virtual MFA device, continue, and you can see your code here. Okay, I'll stop sharing. Then once it is okay gone, maybe I can. I don't want to share my QR code. Okay, so here you click show the QR code, and now if you can see my camera, I like to show what it is like. So here, please look at. I have a authenticator. That is, I have a iPhone, and I have an iPhone. And if you go to App Store, search Google Authenticator app, and you can download it. Once you download, you can open it, and it will somewhat looking like this. I don't know if it is visible or not. Then what you do is Authenticator. There is a right corner of application. There is a plus sign. You add it, and if you add the plus sign, there is a scan barcode option is there. Once you click that, and here after that you have to click this show QR code, and it will be visible to you. So I'm not going to click now. I have to stop sharing, then I'll click stop share, and then I'm going back and seeing my QR code. And now on my mobile, I do scan QR, and now it gives me, it added as root account MFA device for my account. And then it will ask MFA code 1. So I'll give the first code. And once I have to wait for the code to change, because it will ask continuous. There are 2 consecutive MFA codes. So now it changed. I'll give again. And then assign MFA button will be there, and you can click it, assign MFA. And if it is correct, then it will accept and you can close it. So now I'll share my screen again. And I have done my multi-factor authentication. So you can see it here. It is again added, and now again it is activated. So that's how the multi-factor authentication works. So now let's do one thing. Let's add another user, a normal user. Maybe instead of your email ID, you want to have account name, and you want to have right hand side. You can see here there will be a number for you, or maybe the email ID. I have given a name, which you can also do. And go to the users. Left side, if you see, there is users in the access management. Users, and you can add a user. And give your name here. Maybe I'll add Panchaleshwar, my name. Okay. And then you can give yourself all the access because you want, it is you basically. So you can give programmatic access as well as management console access. You can give both. And auto-generated, or you can give a custom password, whatever you want. So better you give a custom password which you can remember. I'll give mine. So user must create new password at next sign in. You can just remove it because you don't want that. Or if you want, when you are creating for some other, you can actually click it. Suppose you have your small team, you are doing it for your whole team, and you are creating accessibility for all your teammates. You can just click it so that they can choose their own passwords in the next sign in. Okay. So then next, go to permissions. So here I have two set of users here, just for the demo purpose, like two groups. One is admin groups. In a company, normally what happens, you can create a group of admins. All the senior administrators, they want to have the admin control. Or you don't want to give everybody admin control, but you want to term them as developers, or you want to group them as developers. Or maybe simple administrators or DevOps users or whatever. So you can create a group, right? Maybe I can create here admins, or maybe simple. There are some called power users, or maybe normal users. Let me call it users for the users. Okay. And you see here, these are the policies actually. You see, these are the policies, different types of policies to group you can add. So I'm creating users, and I don't want to give any admin users. Okay. So this is the way I can create users, and I can allow the whole group with different policies. Which service of the which service of AWS these users can access. Okay. So let me not put any of the policies right now for these users because I have already created the group. I'll like to show you actually. Okay. Let's see what are these admin users, because I have already created. And you see here attached policies is none. That means they cannot do anything. Okay. So admins and developers, what I have done. Admins, if you see this group, P Nayak is already admin. And these are the permissions I have already applied to them. If you see here, I have allowed almost every access admin label. RDS full access, EC2 full access, IAM full access, S3 full access, administrator access, Elastic, almost all the billing full, and billing view access, VPC full access, almost all the accesses I have added. Obviously not all, but whatever I need, and later I can add it. Okay, but This policy is only admin can add it. Once you are admin, you can add for others. Okay. So these are the groups I have created called admins, and I have allocated these permissions or these policies to that. Now, and now what I do is, let's go back to our where we started. I created group only. If you see here, groups, I created a group called users, right, in my previous. But if you see, there is no user in that. And now go to add user, same thing, because I didn't add, I just same thing, punctuation. And I give programmatic as well as console. Now custom password. I don't want it should be changed, and permissions, and I just put user here. Okay, there is no policy as of now, but I just put it users. So that Panchaleshwar, though he can log into the account, but he cannot do anything. Let's see that. Tags, and you can give the key or something to that normal user maybe. Key is accessibility, none, or maybe normal user, and review and create user. Okay, you see this access ID is given, access key is given, and so you can download this CSV file like you did for when you previously created your. Now you download it now because you won't be able to download it. So download the CSV and save it. So I saved it so that I can have my CLI also, I can use it for the CLI. And let's see now whether I can access using Panchaleshwar. Let's see. I'll show you. Though I'll be able to log in, but I will not be able to do anything with this account. So let's see, log back in. And now IAM user, and my account ID is actually Big Open Cloud. You have your name, account ID, and next. Panchaleshwar, and password, whatever you gave. I could log in, you see, I could log in, but can I do something? Run instance. You see, an error occurred describing your selected IAM. You are not authorized to perform this operation, right? Though I'll be able to log in, but I will not be, because no policy has been attached to the group. So here it is showing Panchaleshwar at Big Open Cloud. Big Open Cloud is the root account. Panchaleshwar is the user, and I cannot do anything because you are not added to the group, and that group does not have any policy yet attached to it. Okay, and this user cannot add. If I go to IAM, security identity and compliance, still I cannot do anything. You see here, it does not allow even if to see anything. Okay, we encounter the following: you are not authorized. That means this user cannot do anything. Okay, though he can just see it, maybe what are the services available, like he will have an account, but he cannot do anything unless there are policies attached to it. Okay, and who can allow? Who is the admin? He only can allow. He only can attach some policies. So let's go back to the root account, and then root can you add some policies, but to this account. Okay, I'll sign in and I'll log in back to my root account. And by the way, I just have to stop sharing. I don't want. So there's a question I do see somebody ask. There's in the chat. Hi, users and groups. Is it possible to configure AWS to use company AD like LDAP or MSAD? Authenticate user through organization AD. So, okay. So yes, you can. The answer is yes, you can. You can always integrate with your company AD, Active Directory, and there is a way to do that. Okay.
Yeah, I think I just saw the single sign-on. I believe that's my answer. So that's why I said, sorry, you can ignore this question.
Oh, okay, no problem. So just
all right. Thank you so much.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay.
Thank you.
So I log in with my root user. You can do that. And because I believe you have multi-factor authentication is activated, so you have to use. Okay, I am in. So I'll share my screen. Okay. Now go to same IAM recently used. And let's go to group users. Okay. You see the users group is having only one user called Pencil. So let me add this user directly to the admin group. You see this? Okay, no. So I go to groups and go to admin group, and add users to this group. Okay, and I'll add Pencil to this group as well. So now P Nayak and Pencil both are part of the user group called admins. And in the admins, I have all the access, right? This is the one way. Or if you want to have custom policies attached, let me remove it. This is the one way. Now I can remove as an admin, I can remove this user from this group. Now let me add policies to the users group itself. So here Pencil is already there. Permission and attach policies. Let me see just that so that users can only, because we have seen only S3 and EC2, I have given only these two accessibility. I have to give full access so that they can perform all the services related to EC2 and S3. Okay, so this is, I just allocated these two, okay, and attach the policies. You see now that means this group of users can access EC2 full access, and you can actually see what is over the policy. If you see the policy, this is the way it is a JSON format. These are the policy. If you want to create a policy, custom policy, you also can create your custom policy using a JSON format. There is a way to do it, and you can always read the documentation, how to create a custom policy. Okay, I am not going to actually cover those details. It will be too in-depth. So you see here, this policy, access policy will have like EC2 allow, and star is the complete resource, all the resources, allow elastic load balancing, allow auto scaling, allow cloud watch, and create service link role, and so on and so forth. A lot of roles and policies are attached, and this is the way to do it, okay? And same thing with S3, if you see the policies, you see that allow everything, star is everything, all the resources, okay? So these two are attached, and it is already attached. Now, if you log back, you see that now, if I again sign out and log into my normal, which is a IAM user, And now if I go and execute, like try to launch an instance, I'll be able to do that. Now just, I don't want to go. Now you see it went to the next and launch. I can do that with the keypad. So now I'm able to launch the instance. Whereas previously I was not able to. It was not allowing me because I didn't have any user policy attached to my user group. So you can, okay, there is a thing here. You can attach policies to individual users, or you can attach policy to the whole group of users. Okay, so that's about creating the users. Okay, I want to stop the user creation here, but we'll go, as we go on, we'll talk more about policies, creations, and what are the different type of policies. So I'll terminate it because we are going to create some more instances in our snapshots. So now I'll go back. Now I'll sign out and I'll go back to my normal. I created another user. You know that it is admin. So I think Pinaik is my account. So normally I advise that you don't use your root account. Use your account created, whatever you created. Okay, that will actually be safer to use it. So, and you can again, okay, individual users, they can have their own MFAs. Okay. Any doubt? All are on mute, I believe.
No.
Okay.
Fine.
So, okay. So we covered how to create a new user, and now what is that in the agenda? Yeah. So first, MFA covered, creation of new user covered, and Mac covered. So what is the time? I want to see the time now. Almost 15 minutes more only. Okay. So snapshots, I'll try to cover in next. I think we will not be able to finish at 8:30, but it will go.
Panchleshwar, this is all still the same repeat of previous session, but in Mac, right? Because I remember briefly, except for permissions and groups, everything else was there in the previous session. Right?
Yeah, almost.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
So this is I'm doing it today from Mac, so that you who are all having a Linux system or Mac, they can have a feel of it. Okay?
No, good. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Yep. Okay, so let's go and see. I think let's go back where we left last time. We were talking about the EBS volumes, right? So I want to show a demo about how to. Can you mute, please? Okay.
We're gonna need this. Blindfold.
I'll just create an and I'll have a volume added.
Excuse me, can you
mute, please? Mute, please. Okay. Okay. So you see that I'm creating one instance having two volumes. One is here, you can see volume type is root. Another is just EBS volume. And you see that delete on termination, only it will be deleted the root volume. That means the operating system one. The another hard disk, it is nothing but, as I said, EBS volumes are nothing but like a physical hard disk. You're pushing another hard disk to your system. So 8 gig of disk I have. One is in, if you see Windows way, you can visualize one is C drive, another is D drive, that way. Okay. So in Linux systems, this is kind of root file system. Another one is a data kind of thing. to different disks. Okay, and this will not be, if you see this, I have not clicked it, that means this will not be deleted even if I have terminate the system. During termination, only this volume will be terminated, whereas this will be retained. That's what I want, because I want some of the data should be retained. I want it. That is the purpose. That is the use case for this demo. So review and launch. I'll directly go and launch, and I'll just try to have accessibility. Launch my instance. Okay, so view the instance. Okay, now here, I think the Mac guys, did you able to access your VM, by the way, from Mac?
Sorry.
Saubhagya,
Yeah.
did you get access to your Mac?
Yeah.
Okay, using the key?
Yes.
Okay, good. So now how to access it? So here, let me see if I have the file, that key file, I have it or not. I just want to check it if I have the key. Wow, so nice voice.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, I have to share my key is in my Windows system. I have to transfer it here. So I'll take some time. I have to just quickly switch to my Windows. It's still running. So if you're running a Linux system, have the key. If you don't have the key, you cannot access it actually. So that's all just I wanted to say. I'll just quickly share my. This is lack of planning. I should have planned it. I was completely busy today since 10 o'clock. I'm standing here, still not just lunch, dinner, everything here.
I hope all is okay, Panchaleshwar.
No, that's fine. I'm used to it. Okay. I just said it. Yep, I got it. Okay. Okay. Now I want to, now I got the key. So I just get my public IP address of the system. This is the IP. So how to access from a Linux or Mac is, or any Unix system. SSH -I, and you give the pin, sorry, the key. And EC2-user @ the IP address. Okay, so that you are giving actually you're doing SSH secure cell, and you are giving the input as the key. You are giving input, and you are giving the user EC2 user, and this one. So it is asking yes. Okay, so there's a bad password. So what I have to do, csmod 400. I have to change the permission of the key to 400. Okay, I got it. So this is, I logged in directly from my Mac. I logged in. But Versa, I believe you could do it, right? Up to here?
Yes.
Okay. So now, what I have to do is just for because I know ls, if you do blk, list the bulk device, block devices, right? So here, if you see, there are two, 8 gig each. This is XVDA1, I said last time, XVDB. So two disks are there. But this disk is actually mounted to root. Mount point is root. There is no mount point for XVDB. So it is just pushed. That means you can imagine this is a physical disk. I have just pushed this to the system, but it is actually not attached to the operating system. So what I did is last time, like mkfs. This is the xfs, right? It's mx dot mkfs.x. So what I'm doing here is just, you don't need to know if you are not going towards DevOps or admin. So you don't need to know. What I'm doing is actually creating a file system, XFS file system in this disk. So this is the disk. All the device, actually this is the device /dev file directory will have many files, and each file is a hardware device in Unix system. So here it created a file system. Now I want to mount this file system to, normally it is mounted on the mat. There is, if you see here, there will be a /mnt will be there here, where all the devices will be mounted. So what I'll do is sudo mount /dev, this the same xvdb into mnt. Okay. And now I go to that directory to see what is in the file system. Now this is the file system I'm accessing actually. Now at this point, that disk which I added, the 8 gig disk, is actually I'm using. Previously I was not using. Now I can create a simple directory called maybe test file.txt, which so I can put some data. This is a test file, right? So my demo is here, how I can return this some data I have, right? Come on, man. Some data I have, okay? Now, I'll kill the whole system, but I'll retain this directory. So before destroying this, what I'll do is I'll unmount it, sudo. I'll go out of this directory, cd, then sudo unmount, umount /mnt. This is not mounted. So I made the disk free. Now I come out of it, and now I go back to my console, and now I destroy this completely, terminate. I'll terminate it. Okay. So you see that go to volumes. You see, this is both are terminating and in use. Actually, one will be terminated, only one will be remain because let's see how, let's pass on sometime. It's terminated. Let's see, go back to volumes. You see that only one volume remained. Previously, there were 2 volumes. Now only one 8 gig volume, which is not a root volume by the way. I cannot use it directly because it is a simple data file. There is a data volume rather, okay? This volume is not bootable. So what I'll do is I'll create another instance. It is gone. So I'll create a new instance. And to see that, how really you can retain some data. First of all, I'll do that with volume. Then I'll do that same thing with snapshots so that you will come to know what is the use of snapshots. I'll create a new instance quickly. I'll review and launch directly, and I'll use the same and launch the instance. It is done. So now let's go at pending. Let it run. Okay, running, and this is the IP address. So did you? I did a bit fast, but if you see that, I think I did a bit fast. Previously, when to access it, it was complaining that if you go back here, previously you see that it was complaining that this key is open. That means the permissions were not right for the key. Once you download the key actually to a Unix system, whether it's Linux or Mac, there must be a permission must be applied. It is actually 400. So that it is that 4 is first is actually only the owner. That means only owner can open and read and write it. But okay, not others. So previously it was different. So if you see ls minus al, that p Nayak, okay, you see here only read access. There is no other. There is no write access also. 4 is read only. Okay. So this is for the owner. Read, write, execute. Read, write, execute. And read, write, execute. You owner. This is owner, user, and group. So, so what? How to do that is the chmod. You maybe sudo, because okay. So sudo chmod. Just the command. You can be 400 and the file name. This is the command you should execute just to, and obviously it is asking in the password. Or if it is owner is already pnayak, if you are the owner without sudo also you can do it, because obviously I think I am the user, I am the owner. Yep. So this is a requirement, otherwise it will not join. So now let's do ssh -i, same thing. ec2 - user and the IP address. Okay, now I am in. You see here there is nothing because okay, ls blk. You see here there will be only one. This is, remember, this is a file system. This is not. This is the disk. This is the hard disk, and this is actually a we format it, right? After formatting, we create a file system. So this is a kind of for my file system in this disk. So let's add the disk which we have. Okay, now go to the volume, and you see this is in use. This is the root volume, which is for the current system, and this is simple not used. It is available but not used. So now attach this volume, attach volume to instance. And which is the instances? This is what is running. If you click, it will give you all the instances. And it will be device, it will be attached as you see SDF /dev SDF. Okay. Linux devices will be SDF through SDP and attached. Now it from available to it went to in use. You see, previously it was available, now it is in use. Let's see now, once it is coming properly, still it, okay, now it is attached. Now let's see, you see here. Now previously just this one was there. Only one root partition was there. Now there is another disk just added, this one, like previously. So we don't need to create new file system because there is already exist file system which initially we created using, I think, mkfs.xfs I created. So I don't need to, simple I'll mount it. Sudo mount /dev xdvf xdbd. And I'll just go to MNT. You see here, this is my text file is there. I didn't create it now. So just, you can cat it. This is the test file which I wrote. So I kind of, even if I terminated my instance, I could return some data. So this is one way of retaining the data, but it is a costly affair. You know that your EBS volumes are costly. Remember one thing, this is the one way you can take a backup. As long as I'm not deleting this volume, my data is safe, right? But remember one thing, EBS volumes are costly because they are all higher standard of kind of, because we are accessing them instantly. So, and they are SSDs, solid state drives. So they are costly, and you cannot, like, if you have a huge data size, then your cost will be too heavy. If you see my presentation here, one of the cloud, I think I will take it later. One of the pillar of well-architected framework is cost optimization. It is main thing also. You should have a solution on the cloud which should be cost effective. If you are spending a lot, what is the point? So you should have proper solution which is cost optimized. Okay, so if you are providing a data backup solution that, okay, create a disk with a back and you don't delete it when it is terminated, okay, you are functionally, you are right, you are correct, but it is not cost optimized and it is not a cost effective solution. So what you do is snapshots, because you know that S3 are cheaper. S3 data or S3 storage is cheaper. So why can't I have something taken from this volume and copy into a S3 kind of data so that my storage cost will be minimized. So that's why these snapshots are there. Okay. What I'll do is I'll go back to my presentation here. So these are all called EBS snapshots. So using EBS snapshots, what we do is we back up normally. This is the ideal way of backup, taking a backup of your data. Create snapshots, and by default, snapshots are stored in AWS S3. Okay, and you don't have any control over it. If you take a snapshot, by default, Amazon stores them on S3 data. Okay, and you don't have any control of defining what kind of storage they use. That's why they are cheaper. It is an internal affair of AWS. So if you see what are the use cases of Snapshot is, one use case is, okay, I want to show you here. You see here, if I am running this instance here, you see where I'm in Ohio region. Let me change mine to region to North Virginia. Can I see my instances? Actually, no. You see here, running instances 0, right? So if I want to run kind of same instance with same data kind of thing in 2 different regions, how to transfer the kind of data? One way is by taking your snapshots from the instance data and transferring snapshots to a different region. You cannot transfer one instance from one region to another, whereas you can transfer snapshots, you can copy snapshots from one region to another. And because the global, when you see here, you see here, the logic behind is S3, when you go to storage S3, you see they are global. You see here, it is not related to S3 data, is not related to any region, it is global. So you see here, S3 does not require region selection. So when you copy snapshot by default to S3, that means they're globally available and you simply can copy one region to another. And from a snapshot, you convert that snapshot into another again instance. So that's the way. If you want to transfer one instance from one region to another, this is the way. Convert that instance into a kind of backup data, convert that into a snapshot. That snapshot you transfer from one region to another, then convert that snapshot to an image. Then that image is available in another region, and convert that image into, or run an instance from that image to a running instance. That's the way we can show a demo. 39, okay. So this is what I'm trying to say here. What are the use cases? That is geographic expansion, launch your applications in new region. Second is migration, move an application from one region to another. You can migrate. Disaster recovery, one region became down due to any reason. Suppose Amazon could not access one region due to any reason, Covid19 like. So if you cannot access, you can always transfer to another region. Or you can, Mumbai region is not accessible. Let's see, okay, America not accessible. Let's see, sit in Mumbai region. And that's the way you can access the same thing. Somebody is writing something. Okay.
Like each time we have to do that manually, or it would be like automated script?
Yes, you can write an automated script to do that. Everything can be, let me tell you that everything what we're talking from click can be automated. Without automation, nothing happens today, okay?
Okay.
And everything through the scripts. So
I think that's the one you're talking about, the Terraform script or something, correct?
Terraform is, Raja is dropping off and okay, fine. So snapshots, disaster recovery, encryption. Okay, one way is again, suppose one volume is not data or the volume is not encrypted. Actually, you can, while taking a snapshot, you can encrypt it, and from that encryption, you can create another instance which is encrypted. So that's the way you can convert your unencrypted instance to an encrypted instance. And data retention for auditing requirements, because if you want to retain your data for long purpose, like long ago I did something, or you want to create your data for maybe 2 years, something, then obviously to keep in, as I said, in Ebs volumes, it will be costly. So you can do that is convert that into a snapshot. Obviously that is stored in S3 and that is cheaper. So these are some of the, and why it is cheaper is, again, this is one example I just wanted to give here, how snapshots are taken. And it is not always taken that you have to take a full snapshot. Suppose what happens, I want to be quick here. Here, let's see. Suppose this is called point-in-time snapshot. In the first instance, when you take a snapshot, your data size is 10 gig. Okay, and you take a snapshot. Obviously, that becomes 10 gig snapshot, and you store that in S3. So you will pay if you are not doing anything. You will pay only for the 10 gig, right? Suppose, and after some time, X amount of time, you changed only 4 gig of data, right? And that time again, you take a snapshot. So this snapshot is retained. 10 gig of size is retained always because it's called point-in-time snapshot. What point of time you took the snapshot, that data will be retained always. And you want to restore it from that snapshot. Suppose today I'm taking a snapshot morning data will be retained. Then now after afternoon, I took another snapshot. So I found the snapshot found that there is a change of 4 gig of data. So what I'll do is, it will do by default, it will create another bucket of only those changed data. And those only will be retained actually. This is there. It will be always there. By the way, snap A will be always there. It will be create another bucket of 4 gig data, and this 6 gig data will be actually referenced to the 6 GB which is already created or already existing as a snapshot. So actually here you are using only 10 plus 4, 14 gig of data. Suppose then another maybe night, some other data came in, new data of 2 gig, new data came. So because these two are already there, so another bucket will be created of only 2 gig, and this will be created. This bucket will have this 6 plus 4 will be referenced to these other 2 buckets rather than copying them to the new bucket. So here, if you see the total size in the night, instead of, because here it should be rather 10 plus 10 plus 10, 30 gig of data should be there for 3 different snapshots, right? Rather, no, 10 plus 14 plus 16, right? No, 12, here it is 12. 10 plus 10, 10 plus 10 plus 12. So it should be 32 gig, right? 32 gig of data should be stored actually. But here, the user feels that there are 32 gigs of data are stored, but internally it stores only 16 gig of data. Why? This is 10, this is 4, and this is 2. 4 plus 2, 6 plus 10, 16. So here, the total storage required for all the 3 snapshots is 16 gig instead of 32 gig. So that's the way. If you do kind of, you convert them, suppose you would have converted those into manually, convert them and store, you would have paid for 32 gig of data price. But now because Amazon is doing it incrementally for you, so you are actually storing the same data. You are not losing anything, but you are only paying for 16 gig. So that's the advantage of point-in-time incremental backup data, and that is taken as a snapshot. Okay, so here I'll forward this someday once. I believe once I cover 30 pages, I'll send this presentation to everybody. So I want to have this today finish this session here. I have to actually attend to some other thing. So
if deleted, what we will do?
I'm sorry?
If we will delete some data, we saw change and adding. If we delete?
You are not delete, you are not allowed to do anything here. You can only do to your volume, okay? You cannot access your snapshots. It is automatically maintained by Amazon. You cannot delete any, you can delete, of course, a snapshot, but if you delete your snapshot, your backup is gone. So obviously, nobody deletes a snapshot. They can change their volumes. Normally, that's the way. If you change your volume only, okay? You don't delete your backup, right?
Yes.
But how you save your backup, how intelligently or how efficiently to minimize the cost, that is different people apply different technology, different way, different process, different algorithm to reduce the size or reduce the cost. Okay.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, so we'll have this next time. Yeah, we'll have a session. We'll show a demo of this, how snapshots are created and how snapshots are copied and how snapshots are restored for the instances. We'll see in the next session. Okay, so here I want to stop today. Any doubt, any comments?
I was just Googling and somebody asked about how to view the file. So I just say view the files means how we are doing the VI in the Linux, or in HDFS also we have the same. So means we can do it through CP and do the std out and do the head so that we can view the file, some snippet. But if there is another way, yeah, if you can let us know.
Okay.
Yep.
So, but still, I'm not convinced that really that is a practical use case. Very honestly, I'm not convinced that I can find. I'm not convinced that it is a practical use case that you want to see a raw data in your system using CLI.
No, snippet only, not the full, like what
exactly.
information.
So that's why the use case,
if some structured data is there, kind of means means I am from big data side.
Right.
Means,
no, so you want files. To see, you want to put something, you want to download the file and put that, redirect them to an algorithm. You can do that, and you should do that. Ravi, that is a practical use case. But using simple, you want to do a VI on your file, how does it help unless it is a text file?
No, it can be a text file or it can be a Parquet. To view means we just want to know the content. If the content, what they are saying, if the source is saying
let,
that
let
content,
it be a let it be a Excel sheet. You are from big data, right? Let it be Excel sheet. I'm using a Linux system. I'm doing whether Windows or Linux because it's the AWS command. So it will simple. Just it does not understand what is XSL file, what is PDF file, or what is, it does not understand, right? It simple knows it's a bucket and it is an object. Raw data it will just take, and unless you redirect it to a formatter, maybe VI again, okay, VI knows how to show it, okay? So you always can do that. You can redirect after just streaming also. You just stream it and redirect into, maybe you can pass a pipe and give it to another Linux command, simple, which always you can do that, right? So, but what is that depends upon what is the pipe, after the pipe, what you want to do, and that can be any program. So that is a practical, I believe, use case maybe, but simple VI may not be a use case that you want to simple, because if I open a PDF file, let it be, I saved a PDF file, and to do a VI on a PDF, what it will see? It will show me simple garbage, right?
Agreed. No, means it's about the use case. For example, the Excel. Maybe I have.
Yeah, even
CSV
if you
files.
open with VI, if you open Excel file, it will be also garbage. You cannot read it.
No, I have CSV file, for example, okay, comma separated file, which I'm getting from a source, and I want to process it. For that, I want to view the file before processing it.
How?
Yep.
Okay, so I understood. So you have a special requirement. Okay.
Yeah, we have the DQ, like the source is saying I have 70 columns and 70 columns would be populated, for example, okay.
In a big data scenario, 70 columns is not a big
no,
data.
No. I'm just giving an example, okay. Means it will be having TBs, means just to view like it is, how it looks, means if we'll get the column list or something, and we will say,
I understood. I got you. Let me find a good solution and good use case so that I think everybody is for everybody's interest. Let's discuss about it a bit more rather. let me do my homework so that
Sure.
we can have some meaningful discussion rather than telling that, okay, what is possible, what is not.
Yep, makes sense. Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Anybody else? Any suggestion? Anything before we wrap it up? Somebody wrote something on the chat. Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. And see you next Sunday again. So we'll have Sunday and Wednesday because that's what everybody asked for. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, everybody, and have a good night.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good night.
Yeah.
Thanks much. Thanks for your time.
Yeah.
Bye.
Gentle.